Hey guys, and welcome back to I Like Her Watches 2. The AliExpress summer sale is well underway, and yeah, I have literally just received this GMT watch from San Martin. It's, well, an original design from them, and I've just checked on AliExpress. They've already sold 44 of these watches, which I think must be some sort of record for their original designs, because I think historically their original designs perhaps haven't been as popular as their homage watches, but this one, you never know, might prove to be actually quite popular. So yeah, I just thought I'd produce a very quick video showing you this watch, running through some of the specifications and sharing with you my first impressions, because, well, the sale is on and I've just checked. During checkout, I've been able to pick this watch up for around $255, I think it was. So yeah, a decent discount. They're offering an actual discount code during the sale. So if you are interested in picking this watch up, perhaps head over to the official store on AliExpress via the link in the video description. It is an affiliate link and the watch was sent for free. Hence, you will have seen the includes paid promotion icon in the top left hand corner. Right, let's get the plastic off, resize it. I'll be back in a mo. Right, there we go. All the plastic has been removed. I've resized it for my roughly average sized wrist, put some power into the NH34 GMT movement and moved the hands out the way so we can have a proper good look at this new release by San Martin. And I've got to say, first impressions are pretty good. It does look to be like a fairly new sort of original design watch from San Martin, which is really, really good news. We've all been crying out for them to produce some really good looking, nice quality original designs, and although it may not be the best looking watch in the world, it's a good looking watch. I like the nice bright colors. A fantastic summer release, isn't it? A very sort of playful summer holiday sort of watch. Beads of rice bracelets. Yeah, they're not my favorite, but it is nice to see them using something a little bit different than just pairing this with a fairly standard 3-link tapering stainless steel bracelet. It looks very much like a dive watch, doesn't it? But it isn't. Only 100 meters of water resistance. I suspect they could have rated it higher, but I actually like the fact that they're not making a sort of dive watch GMT. I'm generally not a fan of two styles of watches being merged into one, those sort of diver GMTs or diver chronos. I like a watch to be, well, very clear. What is this? And this is clearly a GMT watch. You've got the GMT hand and you've got a GMT rotating bezel with a GMT action, which is nice, a 24-click bi-directional bezel, and yeah, it's got a really nice action, super smooth and greasy, and the clicks are very defined. You know when the bezel is sitting in one of the correct locations. Everything seems to be lined up nicely. Nice coin edge finish to that bezel as well, so plenty of grip. Yeah, lovely bezel action as well. So yeah, definitely a GMT watch, not a dive watch. Screw down case back, screw down crown, but 100 meters of water resistance. Nice looking case as well. Fairly elongated lugs, giving it, I guess, a subtle sort of retro vibe to it. The way that those lugs sort of taper to, well, a slightly finer point than some of their other cases. Beautiful finishing. We're used to San Martin producing beautifully finished watches, and yeah, this is very much in keeping with their sort of standards, the standards that we've come to expect from San Martin. But yeah, the actual case profile from the top down and from the side is actually pretty good. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble with this particular clasp, I've got to say. There are 5 locations for it, but the last couple are very, very tight. Might have found a quality control issue, because yeah, this clasp is not working as smoothly as, well, all the other ones that I've tested. Yeah, I've seen this clasp on a number of occasions, and yeah, the first couple of clicks are fine. 1, see, even that one's getting a bit tight now. 3, 4. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? It feels to me like the sliding inner element is just fractionally too tight for the outer shell. Oh well, San Martin's showing that they are human. Yeah, they are capable of quality control issues, and yeah, that is definitely one of them, unfortunately. But anyway, let's move on to, well, the specifications then. So 316L stainless steel, screw down case back, screw down crown. Drilled lugs on this one, which is nice. Solid end links, solid links, screw pins. Yeah, on the fly adjustment clasp, fence post hands, and applied indices. Very nice, uniform rectangular indices, apart from at the 6 o'clock we've got a beautifully framed color coded date. Complication, love the splash of color on the dial with these hands. Orange hand, red GMT hand. There is some lume. I'll test the lume in a moment. Yeah, and it's not the whole dial that's this sort of turquoise color. You've actually got that sort of creamy, I don't know, is that sort of sparkly, silvery, creamy chapter ring with some markings on it. Right, I've wiped over the steel now so we can have a good look at the finishing. I'm always interested to see how crisp the finishing is, or the lines are, the divides between the polishing and the brushing, because that to me is the biggest indicator of quality when it comes to steel finishing. And yeah, their transitions are normally very, very good, actually. For the money, they punch well above their weight. And yeah, the brushing on the side of the case looks very nice. It matches the brushing on the outer links of the bracelet. So yeah, I'm not seeing any issues with the steel finishing. I'm not seeing any quality control issues with the bezel alignment, although I've not lined it up. There we go. Yeah, it seems to be lined up nicely. All the markers on the dial seem to be lined up nicely. So other than, yeah, that slightly dodgy clasp, this one does seem to be pretty much perfect. Right, let's do the usual test. Record the lume degrading for 5 minutes and see how visible it is at the end of those 5 minutes. But the initial lume burst looks pretty good. BGW9 all over this watch, and yeah, it looks pretty good so far. Anyway, let's see how it goes. Well, would you take a look at that? Yeah, you wouldn't think these 5-minute lume degradation tests would be that telling, but actually I think they really are. They show very quickly whether or not the lume on a watch is good or bad. And yeah, in this particular instance, it's shown that the bezel doesn't have fantastic lume, unfortunately. That's actually pretty poor for San Martin. The lume on the applied indices and on the hands seems to be okay, roughly average for San Martin, but yeah, the lume on that bezel insert's faded pretty quick, hasn't it? Right, let's give you some specifications, dimensions, weight, that sort of thing. Right, set up for my roughly average sized wrist. It weighs 126 grams. The bezel dimension is 38.4. Thickness is 12.2. Case length is 46.5. 20mm lugs, and the bracelet tapers down to, oh, a decent amount of taper. Look at that, 15.6. Right, let's test the Crystola. It is, of course, sapphire crystal, box crystal. Look at that, double domed with AR coating. Yeah, very, very nice. Right, let's get it on the wrist. Right, let's wrap it up with a wrist shot and a wrist roll. Here it is on my roughly average sized wrist. It's definitely a colourful, playful watch. It's got a very summery feel to it, and I'm really pleased with the weight, actually. It's not a full-blooded dive watch, only 100 meters of water resistance. So, yeah, I guess that's reflected in the weight, around 125 grams. And you can definitely feel that it's lighter than a 200-meter diver. It might also be because the bracelet is, well, it's got a decent amount of taper on it, and it's got those smaller links, perhaps more gaps between the beads of rice. So yeah, fairly substantial clasp still, so good weight distribution all the way around. Love this size of watch these days for me and my average sized wrist. And this sort of 38-39mm dive style watch is yeah, the perfect size for me. And yeah, slightly elongated lugs, but the lug to lug length isn't too bad, is it? Yeah, I can see why this watch is going to be popular, actually. NH34 powered GMT. Really interesting looking watch from San Martin. One of their best looking original-ish design watches. And yeah, really nice sort of bright summery colours. Perfect time to launch this watch, I think. Right, guys? Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments section. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy my content. And if you do, click that like button and subscribe. For goodness sake, I'm trying to give away some Helm watches. I need to get to 35,000 subs on I Like Watches 1 to give away a couple of Helm watches. So head over there if you haven't subbed and smash that subscribe button. Right, guys, happy shopping.